Alright, hello everyone and welcome to the Age of Sigmar narrative show. I'm your host Dad Hammer Luke and I'm joined as always by my trusty friend Andrew. How are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad. Living the ISO life.
Yeah, no, completely understand that. I wore shoes for the first time the other day in like 2 weeks and it felt weird.
Yeah.
Funny that. But yeah,
Mm.
anyway, I hope everyone watching and everyone watching back is doing well, staying healthy, staying safe, and most of all, fighting that war against the Grey. So we're here today and we're going to be chatting about where we think these two new factions that we're going to get will potentially take the narrative of Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
So obviously we're talking about the Lumineth Realm Lords and the Sons of Behemoth. But before we get into any of that, hobby progress, have you made any at all?
Well, I'm sitting here painting at the moment. This is the first actual hobby I've had a chance to do in about, well, probably since the last time we were on. Because I'm a teacher and we're essential. We're having to relearn our whole career in the space of a few weeks. So that's kind of consumed most of my time. But now I'm on holiday, so hopefully get into it. I've just started doing actually a kill team for 40k. So I'm doing one model at a time and to sort of ease me back into it. So hopefully we'll get some progress over the next few days.
Nice. So you've at least got.
How about you?
Yeah, I've been painting up a storm. I've painted up both sets of Warhammer Quest. I think I've got 10 Blood Reavers to go from that.
Yep.
I'm painting up 20 Chaos Warriors at the moment and slowly work my way through all that Chaos Force that I own.
Cool.
So I'm just painting up random models that are sitting on the desk or just sitting there and just trying to get ahead of the curve.
Oh, there's some great models in those kits, those box games.
Oh yeah, the Death Runner and even like the kayak acolytes from those kits are fantastic, and the little what do you call them? Familiars.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah. And of course, like they've just got the Blood Reaver and the Black King kits, which are just fantastic kits to paint.
Yeah.
And yeah, Chaos Warriors are fun to paint. I'm quite enjoying the Chaos Warriors at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's my hobby for now. And I think I'm currently re-listening to the Go Trek audios for something to listen to.
Cool.
They're fantastic.
Yeah. In terms of that stuff, man, I think the biggest viewing I've had was the new Astartes trailer, or new Astartes chapter that came out. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into that next because news-wise, we haven't talked since the second lot of reveals, me and you.
Yeah.
So we'll start with what the first thing was. The Lumineth got like that cool box revealed, which I thought was really cool.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, just everything about it.
Yeah, the story's been progressing quite a bit. I think we knew this was coming with,
it's, quite cool. Sigmar stuff revealed, which of course was the Sons of Behemoth.
Yeah, the little video-y thing we got. Yeah.
Yeah, which is quite cool. So from what it seems, we're getting 3 new types of giant.
Yeah, well, it looks that way in the video with the silhouettes we saw. So.
Yeah, I did a whole like sort of prediction thing. I did one for the Lumineth, and I got some right and some terribly wrong. And so I've decided to do one again for the Sons of Bahama, which would be quite interesting to see how wrong and how right I am. I mean, people would just use something to have a laugh and tell terribly wrong or see if...
I mean, like, I think if they want the army to actually succeed, they're going to have to need a couple of new units. You can't just have giants.
Yeah. And that was like a few things I put forward for it. Was like, oh, maybe they're going to have, I don't know, Chaos Warhounds or Frost Sabers or something in the army. And
breaking up.
Am I breaking up? Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm back, I think. Oh dear. Internet has been horrendous of late, so I apologise to anyone. It's what it is.
Everyone's has, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there is a bit of cutting coming, but oh well, we'll stop. So yeah, the other one I sort of put out there was potentially what if Ale Guzzler Gargants are a unit? So I can have more than one in a unit.
Yeah. I think they'll need to get that the big guys holding objectives counts as rule, otherwise the army's pointless.
Yeah. I think it's just going to need some sort of idea of where we go. Just need it needs a battle line option, which is what you're trying to figure out. How does it have a unit? Is it going to take the ogre's sort of rules?
Well, I think they'll have to. I think they're either going to go one of two ways. They're either going to be just a complete fun, fluffy beer and pretzels army, or they're going to be effectively the Imperial Knights of Sigmar, which I think what a lot of people are worried about.
Yeah, that can be for anyone who doesn't really know 40k. Imperial Knights are not very fond. Most people are not very fond of them. The concept is fantastic. I think AOS is probably better prepared to have an army full of giant monsters. I mean, we already have lists that exist like that. So, I mean, you've got the six.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and look, and your average Ale Guzzler Gargant isn't that nasty a dude, really, compared to some of the other big monsters. It'll depend what they do with the other units, I think.
Yeah, so that'll definitely be the big thing for them. I guess other news to sort of touch on is, like you were mentioning, Astartes and all that. That looks really, really good. I know it's 40k and all that, but you can't not be excited for Warhammer as a TV show.
No. I just from that perspective, I just really hope they can live up to that.
Yeah. They have to hope that someone else has created for their product is working on it, and he seems to be like really pushing it to be a thing. It's his sort of brainchild and baby, so it'd be quite interesting to see where that goes. There doesn't seem to be a lot of Age of Sigmar stuff. I guess if we're going to get anything, it'll probably be in the Hammer Bolter shorts, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, Age of Sigmar is much less known about. There's no doubt about that.
It's a bit harder to market too. I mean, what niche do you put it in?
Yeah.
Whereas, say, 40k is your post-apocalyptic sci-fi. There's already a market for that stuff, so they'll probably draw in people from outside the hobby. Whereas it'd be harder to do that pull, I think, with Sigmar.
Yeah. Sigmar's sort of its own thing. I mean, it's like people constantly say like it's a fantasy's fantasy. It is its own sort of fantasy. There's nothing quite like it. In that sort of medium anyway. I mean, it's probably close to like the lore you would get in like the Magic the Gathering card game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's very far removed from the generic fantasy people associate with like Dungeons and Dragons and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, that was the big stink that initially when it came out. From that storyline perspective, people didn't like it because it wasn't high fantasy. But like,
no, it was high fantasy.
It is. Yeah, it's its own thing. Right.
But anyway, that's most of the news. There was some cool 40k and 30k models released as well. I think we've sort of gone over all the good models that sort of got released. And last thing, I guess, Blood Bowl, there was the Treeman.
Yeah, Blood Bowl Treeman.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Getting one for my Wood Elves.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the reveal was a bit, for me anyway, it felt a bit anticlimactic. After the hype they pushed, and then it sort of was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I completely understand that point of view. Like, and it sucks. And like, I know there's nothing really GW can do about it either, because now they don't know how long they're going to have to stretch this stuff out for to keep people entertained.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
right.
without a doubt the smart decision to stretch this out and keep people entertained, but it sort of does at the same time hurt the whole biggest reveal ever. I mean, especially when at the end of the second reveal they did say to us, "Oh, we haven't even looked at half of it."
Yeah.
Um,
And I think people were, especially with Lumineth and Bahamut, people were really pumped to see this stuff. And I was like, oh, is that no more?
yeah,
But like, I mean, I get it. I understand. Like I said, it's just
yeah,
they probably just need to maybe tone down the greatest reveal ever if they're going to do it this slowly.
yeah. Just go. Look, we're going to keep giving you reveals and stretched out throughout, and everyone will be happy.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Don't hype it and then
yeah, yeah. It does lead to disappointment. I can completely understand how it can.
yeah,
But anyway, we're getting. But,
yeah.
uh,
Well, that's the way things are going to be now, aren't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, time to get, I guess, into today's sort of subject matter, and that's how the narrative is potentially looking to shape. So we're looking like we're coming to the end of these Realm Gate Wars, not Soul Wars. We're definitely through the Realm Gate Wars. We look like we're coming to the end of these Soul Wars.
Yep.
We had obviously the what was the goddamn book called? I forget the name of the narrative book that came out with the Chaos versus the Bone Reapers and stuff.
Yep.
Mark the Everchosen.
Yeah.
So it seems like we're heading to the end of the Soul Wars for me. Archaon's back. It seems like he's back at the forefront of all this. It's going to be his time again to go.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way.
Nagash has achieved quite a lot during the Soul Wars. I mean, he's got the Necroquake happened, and he's sort of half got his plan in the Realm of Death sorted, and now he's taken back one of the Realm Gates in the All Points.
Yeah.
So
I think the Lumineth book for mine will open up a new chapter, I think.
yeah, I definitely think that's the first book we're going to get is Lumineth out of the two. And I definitely think that's going to sort of open up like the next chapter, because it's like we've been.
Yeah. I think we're getting that stuff, some more stuff on Haish. Open up that as a theatre. That sort of thing.
Yeah, and someone in the comments is saying like it probably leads towards like a completely new narrative sort of cycle that we're going to go through, and a new starter set range probably. Which you're not probably wrong.
Yeah.
It's time for some new Stormcast and find something that.
I mean, I get. Yeah, I hope they don't have a whole new Stormcast range. I mean, I get why they do it, but I don't think they need it at this point.
No. You can probably hold off another cycle to get new Stormcast. Just, I don't know, bring back the Warrior Chambers.
Yeah. Because I mean, what Stormcast really need is a new narrative that makes those guys the heroes again. Like when we first had the openings of the Realm Gate Wars, your basic Liberator was a shit hot, like at the equivalent.
Yeah.
Marine, he kicked ass. And now they're sort of relegated to, we also have these.
Yeah. I think that's the way to go, is bring them back to the forefront and be the heroes again.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're the Warrior Chambers. These guys are supposed to be the ones fighting and pushing out the boundaries. Which is cool.
Yeah.
It'll
be.
You go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to just see where they head with it. Like, because obviously, Lumineth are Teclis's big thing. So we might actually busily sucking souls out of Slanesh, and that's about it. So,
yeah, it's an interesting sort of thing. Like, have they this whole time, for the majority of it, just been biding their time and waiting for their time to come out into the realms, which is quite clearly what it seems like the story is heading towards.
Yeah, I mean, like we're going to start to see the Lumineth. Obviously, are going to be that. Pardon the pun. Hammer blow um, for the elves, I
Oh,
think,
you're going to
and
start
then
something
we'll
saying
start.
those words.
Yes, but then we'll obviously we've got Balerians elves to go as well, so we'll see
Um,
where they go with that.
yeah, I mean, speaking of that, like Tyrion, we've got all these talk about him, whether he's in the Lumineth range or not. It sort of seems like they're probably going down the Stormcast route, where they're going to be something later.
Yeah, possibly.
That's what it seems like to me, anyway. That might be the thing. Oh, that's my dog in the background. Probably one of the cats from next door. And our connection's gone shit. No. Yeah. I have lost Andrew. Be back in one. You there?
Yeah.
Sorry, you
So
cut out for a
what?
bit. Give me 1 second.
So
I think I can hear my
yep.
dog going nuts at something. I will be back.
Uh,
I'm so sorry about that. That was the dog chasing one of the cats from next door.
oh, good.
Oh dear God. And she almost got it. Oh my God, she's gone again. Anyway, we'll leave her be.
Mm.
So anyway, sorry, we were talking about like Tyrion being a thing. We don't talk about that here because I'm pretty sure it's wrong. It's just someone trolling the entire Luminous community. The
Oh, the Chaos Dwarf thing.
Yeah, and it sort of got disproven because they showed the full rune and it's got squiggly bits, so that puts a whole hole in it.
Yeah, and yeah, I think we're all over that. Let's just leave that
Yeah,
alone.
we'll leave that there. I think the Luminous community is by far over that.
Yeah, and look, I mean, as I said, they're not my thing, but
Yeah,
if some people love them, that's great. That's fantastic. It's their hobby. Do what you like. Stop being dicks.
yeah.
Uh,
I think I was talking about it on the Dad Hammer show. We sort of like in the Hammer part, we're talking about it,
mm,
and talking about how the fact they're creating such a polarizing opinion both ways.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to have to pause this. I've got to go for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I will be back, everyone, real short. door looking for someone, so...
Okay.
Anyway, we're back, everyone. Whoops, I can hide that. That text doesn't need to be here for this one. I am really sorry, everyone, about rushing. This is an awkward sort of thing to happen, but oh well.
Well, perhaps you should hide the drugs somewhere else, man. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry, everyone. We're all back now. Apologies for that. Just some issues at the front door tonight.
Yeah, as you were saying about the polarizing sort of view that Lumineth have released.
Yeah.
Have come.
Like the fact they've got such a polarizing view on both sides, whether good or bad, means they're doing something. Creating emotion is doing a good thing.
Yeah, as I say, I don't feel that strongly either way. I just don't. They're not my thing. But again, I'm not sure if that's painting as well. I think they've deliberately gone with those sort of muted creams. So I'm not sure. If you saw them painted, all the people that really wanted high elves, if you painted them with that pure white and blues like the high elves used to have, I think they'd be much closer to that.
Yeah. I mean, there's obvious units in the army that are creating that sort of response.
Yeah.
But I think in all, it's going to be quite interesting to see where they pull them from and what they do. Oh my god. I'm going to invite the dog in. Bloody hell. Yeah.
Dog hammer.
Killer. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Dog hammer, Age of Sigmar.
Alright. Yeah, this is the noisemaker. Come here. You say hello to everyone. Up here. If anyone can see her. Come on. Up. Up. No.
Yeah.
You're in here, you want attention, and now all of a sudden you don't. It's a quiet dog. But yes, this is going so well tonight. I'm really sorry, everyone. This is like...
That's life.
Yep. It is life at the moment. But yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see. I mean, Teclis has sort of come out of his shell. We're now seeing all these armies put across the table. And it'd be quite interesting to see how it goes and like where the lore of like Teclis goes is going to be interesting sort of one.
Yeah. The interplay between sort of Teclis and Marathi will be interesting as well.
Yeah, because they're on common ground. Because like they did work together.
Sort of. Yeah, sort of.
Quite.
It depends on
in the back.
Yeah, it depends on how much. Because if Teclis and Tyrion are gods, surely they've worked out exactly what Marathi was doing with those souls.
Yeah, but she does have Malarian working with her, so she has a god in her own right working with her.
But how much is he working with her?
Well, you got that if you remember the short story from Malay Importance where you read about the two of them siphoning the souls. And it was Malarian and Marathi, and Malarian most certainly does not trust her one bit.
No. Well, I can't imagine why.
Yeah, I cannot imagine why he would not trust his mother.
Not at all. She's a delight.
It's thinking about where they go now with the narrative. Like, okay, we've got three of the realm gates controlled by order, in the all points being fire, life, and metal. Death is now controlled by death. The beast one is inside a god beast somewhere, and you've got 3 controlled by chaos. So it's actually quite evenly split now.
Yeah, story-wise, it's pretty balanced.
Yeah, you've got 3 for order and chaos, and death and destruction both have their respective gates.
Yeah. And I don't think, from Nagash's perspective, at least he wanted more than he got, but now he has a staging ground and if nothing else, the dude's patient.
Yeah, well, we know how long he worked on the Bone Reapers. The Bone Reapers were a plan when Sigmar hadn't even thought of Stormcast being a thing. He built them underneath his cities.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I mean, that's the other thing too. We've seen the Bone Reapers hit the scene and shook up the narrative a fair bit. So Bone Reapers and elves will make for two very interesting players on the scene.
Yeah, and like on the Bone Reapers narrative, I still think they're one of the coolest narratives we've got out of someone like a Death Army that actually doesn't want to kill you because it sees you as a resource.
Yeah. The only thing we need with the Reapers, I think, is tabletop-wise people to play something other than Petrifex.
Yeah, but it'd be quite interesting to see like people are talking about, okay, what are we going to do for like allies and stuff, like how's the narrative of the allies going to work for the Lumineth, what are they going to get, and like as you mentioned, like Daughters of Cain, is that going to be an ally for Lumineth? Like they'll obviously get Stormcast. Every Order army gets Stormcast. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like a lot of people are thinking about they're wanting that Elven Alliance thing, but yeah, that's what I mean about that relationship between Teclis and Marathi. Like I don't know whether the daughters would be very likely to serve alongside them. So.
Well, they're definitely closer than Alariel is with them. So like, because she hates Teclis and hates Malarian, hates Marathi, and hates pretty much everyone.
Yeah, I said they're still aren't really elves anymore anyway. So.
No, it's. I mean, they might be. Who knows? Kenothi release. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
That's
the. I want to see. I want to see them. I want to see them get their own book, and I'm waiting for Malarian.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, the Kenothi could really be that they're effectively Order beastmen. So. Yeah, they could be really.
And we obviously forgot one of the children. Someone just mentioned in the comments. Be quite interesting to see how Lumineth and Ideneth get along.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because their Teclis is fuck up.
That's actually that will be quite interesting to see where that sort of narrative goes for the two of them. On like, can they coexist? Like, there's the whole daughters and like Teclis and Marathi don't exactly trust each other, but then you do have like the Lumineth and the Ideneth, and like Teclis tried to sweep them under a rug.
Yeah, you're not my real dad. Yeah.
They're the I don't know. You look at it as like the Ideneth are the child from the first wife, and the second wife's around now, and they've got the Lumineth.
The golden children and the other ones.
That one you just wish would disappear.
Yeah, that's actually some fiction around that would be really cool.
It's quite interesting. Like, you've also got like obviously the part where like what's the special character's name? The Ideneth Prince dude, the special character, Volturnus. Because he's supposed to have been like one of the first souls ever plucked out of Slanesh. Which is why he's so weird a character.
Well, it depends how they play, like how they develop him too. I mean, do you go with the whole "why don't you love me, daddy" narrative, sort of, or do you go with the screw these guys? Because he's a big player, obviously, in Ideneth. So
well, he's the one who managed to like sits on the seat of the council and like sort of conducts everyone. All the other tribes sort of swear fealty to Volturnus.
So it'd be interesting. You would think his perception would be the one that most of the force would go with. So,
one of the guys in the comments is saying it's like sort of like you got Superman and Bizarro, like relating to like the Ideneth. It's a pretty good description of it.
Yeah, And again, like, how does Teclis actually view them? Like, we haven't had a lot on that either.
Yeah.
Like, does Teclis sort of look down on them and go, "Well, you're my dirty little secret"?
Or does he actually feel sorry? I don't
Yeah,
see
like,
Teclis feeling
is he a?
sorry. It's not in his nature.
No, I don't either. But it depends how they want to develop that. Like, is he a father figure who feels sorry that he messed up his kids' lives, or is he just, yeah, well, suck it up, get over
Yeah. Or I don't know who you are. You don't know me. You're not my
it?
children.
Yeah,
I don't know who you are.
yeah, yes, please
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Just
You're ruining the family dinner.
here's a million. Now go hide somewhere and don't come out ever.
Don't wander. That ocean over there looks great. Off you go.
Yeah. It's
No, it'll
obviously
be
Teclis
interesting.
doing that. And like the other order factions, because like Sigmar and Teclis are actually like on pretty good terms for like most of the gods. Teclis is sort of annoyed about the whole penumbral engine stuff, but he's still sort of on Sigmar's side. You got that in Malign, not Malign,
Yeah,
Forbidden Power. They are probably the closest. Like if Teclis is close to anyone, it's Sigmar.
yeah,
Obviously besides Tyrion.
yeah. But see, I mean, Sigma, and as you say, they're going to get Stormcast allies because Sigmar's a bit of a, I'll use anybody I can to further my objectives guy. So he's going to send Stormcast to help them if it helps him. So
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm like thinking of like what other order armies are we sort of like cities? Do we see cities potentially going with the Lumineth, or how do we see the Lumineth interacting with cities?
well, I mean, so I'm still kind of hoping that with the cities we'll see either a customized do your own city or an expansion where we see some of the cities in the other realms. And if we get that for Haish, then presumably,
The one in
you
four
know,
rule.
yeah, like you'd think something like that, but don't know until we see, because we're not going to see, given how closely tied they apparently are to Haish. It's unlikely to see them as allies in other cities' armies, I would think.
Yeah, no. I mean, cities are just so ripe. Like off on a tangent here, cities are ripe for those White Dwarf editions.
Oh yeah, yeah, hell yeah. And that's what I say. I keep sort of waiting to see that either design your own or here's this free city that's in insert realm here.
Yeah, I mean, we're all
Um,
waiting for the rules for Excelsis to come out.
yeah, just I mean, even just like pick from these three tables, and these are the people that you can have in your city, sort of thing. Um, again, it'd be a narrative thing more than anything else, which is I think what would make me do one of those armies, because it'd be exploitable, but.
But yeah, I'm trying to think other order factions that we've sort of glanced over or missed. You got your
Vice
and then
players?
I mean, Teclis is not going to get along with the dwarves. We can just
No,
that's not happening. There's going to be no
no,
KO. There's going to be no Fire Slayers.
no,
I don't even think there's any more to talk about on that.
no way.
Um,
There's no way. I mean, there's not in KO's interest to be involved with them anyway.
no. Um,
Yeah, so
I mean, yeah, and if any involvement, we know it's all for Urgold or all for profit.
yeah,
That's
yeah, money, money, money. Yeah,
So anyway, I think we've beaten the Lumineth sort of horse to death. And like, Lumineth one's probably gotten talked more about over time anyway, because there's so much more to talk about over the Lumineth, really. But I think the
yeah.
interesting one is how does Sons of Bahama fit in the world?
Mm,
So, for those who don't know about who Bahamut is, he was a god beast. In the Realmgate Wars, there was a story arc in the Realmgate Wars called God Beasts, and effectively it was Kaon trying to take control of God Beasts to use them in the war against Sigmar. And he succeeded with one at first, the God Beast, the Great Drake Ignax. Yes, the same Ignax from Ignax's Scales.
mm,
From the Realm of Fire, and he actually corrupted and controlled Ignax, and now you see this giant dragon around the Varan Spire, which is literally a god beast. And he also tried to get the giant in the Realm of Life, Bahamut. Bahamut was this giant mountain-sized giant made of stone, and the father of all giants. And in the end, Archaon corrupted these like nerve center points, and like he awoke all corrupted, and the Stormcast had to kill him. The Celestin Prime, along with a bunch of Lord Relictors using all their powers at once, managed to strike Behemoth down. So the part of like the story to talk about with Behemoth is he alive? Is he dead? Because God beasts are far beyond like mortal or like even the gods' powers to stop.
Yeah. And I guess we'll find out more about that in the battle tome itself.
Yeah, I think that's really the interesting part of this is like, do we, see, is he alive? Is he dead? And not only that, like if he's dead, for instance, the Gargants know who killed him. Like they know Order did it.
And this is what I was saying before about these different layers of troops we're gonna have to have, because your average ale guzzler Gargant's an idiot. Are we gonna have the more intelligent, brainy guys sort of steering the blunt instrument of the other Gargants? I mean, I think that would make for a really cool story.
Yeah, someone's bringing up here, it's like King Brod himself, and Brod obviously with the Sons of Bahama battalion, he was the king in that.
Yeah.
It depends whether he's alive still. I don't know how long they plan to make giants live for in the narrative.
Yeah.
Because obviously we're now probably 200 years almost on from the actual Realm Gate Wars now.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing too there with that sort of stuff is, if Gargants live for that long, how many are there? Like if they are going to say they live for hundreds of years, are we heading towards the Gargant apocalypse? They're all going to emerge out of the mountains in Gur and just overrun communities, like.
Yeah, and I guess the one little teaser we sort of got is like the mercenary, the Hammerhall Herald. They're always fantastic for like sort of dropping a little bit of like Gargants for hire. So are we going back to having Gargants?
Mercenary?
That were mercenaries. I mean, when the current Ale Guzzler Gargant kit was released way back in Fantasy, it was as a Dogs of War unit originally.
Yeah, anyone could take one.
Yeah, I remember getting one and converting one up to a giant rat giant for my Skaven.
And I mean, obviously, some of that is GW wanting to sell kits, but that hasn't changed. So if we head back in that direction, well,
and like
maybe
you hear people talking about a gold faction, as you were, gold meaning like it was multicolored in Magic the Gathering. It's sort of where the term comes from. But gold factions already exist. We have Vec and we have Fire Slayers, who can have their whole armies allied to anyone. So
yeah, pretty much.
Gold factions already exist. It's not something new we're getting. It's not something unheard of. For it to be written in the core rules of an army is certainly something new.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether they'll go that route completely. They might. I mean, we might not see that, but I think in storyline wise, where they're going to put them is going to be the most interesting. Like obviously, we're looking at the realm of beasts on some level, because that's the sort of the seat of destruction. But as you say, originally we're looking at realm of life. So, where are they going to be?
Yeah. And like they sort of maybe hinted that Chaos Gargants are going to be in the Battle Tome as well. Because as I was mentioning, like Bahama actually got corrupted. So some of his children like now corrupted as well.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time they've done that. I mean, you've got, say, Zangors in obviously Disciples of Zine, the Zinch book, but you've also got them in Beastmen. So, Gargants fighting on Chaos lists, in Chaos lists and in a Gargant list.
Yeah, and obviously you've got the Gargants in Gloomspike Gits.
Yep.
So yeah, it'd be quite interesting to see. Like, there's actually quite a bit of narrative behind Bahamut, and like there's a whole like story arc in the Realm Gate Wars that you can go back and find. Just go find the God Beast book and you'll find that whole story. Anything Realm of Life in God Beast is all about him. And like more than the Lumineth, like the more I started reading and like rereading stuff, and it's like there's actually quite a bit here.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see where they fit in the world properly.
Yeah, and in terms of where the story is going, as I've said, like we're coming to the end of this next phase, and the elves are obviously going to have something of a resurgence. But
what's there to fight them?
We're talking, are we going to see maybe the elves versus the Gargants box?
Yeah, and that could be interesting. But or we've got other things that could potentially be like, what if it's the Kenothi? Like they sort of seem like, oh, okay, that's actually an order thing that might actually directly fight against Gargants. They seem to be like something really well opposed to each other, both very similar and tribal. And
well, if it's in the realm of beasts, certainly. That's where we look at Beastgrave with Underworlds, and that's where we first saw the Kenothi. So possibly,
yeah. And we've spoken about it before. Like if they weren't planning on more Kenothi, they certainly are now, because the reception they got was just massive.
Yeah. When I actually think the reception that the Kenothi got was more universally positive and less divisive than the new ones.
The Lumineth,
Lumineth, sorry.
Kenothi was very, very well received, and people were like really open about that aesthetic.
Yeah, well, and I think too, because it's very Sigmar. It's got that whole sort of feral nature to it, but it's still order.
Yeah. But the sort of part in all of this is obviously we've got the Soul Wars, like where everyone's fighting for souls, and like how that ends. We sort of think we've seen the end of it. Like Nagash has been beaten multiple times now. And so I think his time as like the big bad is up. And maybe, just maybe, with the Sons of Bahamut, we're actually seeing the rise of destruction that's been for so long.
Yeah, we haven't really. I mean, we had sort of hopes of that with all that bad moon narrative that came out, and then it just sort of disappeared again. So, and I mean the more tribes has potential as well. I mean, if we get a really solid Bahamut book, and then you build a narrative around the various tribes of destruction, saying, "All right, enough's enough," then we've got all these relatively new factions.
Yeah.
That we can go to town with. So,
and then obviously, like even Auric War Clans is like relatively new. All destruction book, like Gloomspite's the oldest destruction book, and it's barely 2 years old. No, a year old, isn't it? Just over a year.
Yeah. Yep. Because about 12 months.
Yeah, being close, probably getting on a year and a half maybe. But yeah, they're all pretty new. They all fight in the new style of like how the game's played. It'd be interesting to see where we go with it. And, I mean, because it's one of the missing gods. We know Gorkamorka's alive. He's out there somewhere. We just don't know what's happened to him. He's bigger mystery than, like, Malarian and Teclis. Like, we knew exactly where Malarian and Teclis were. They were in their respective realms. But we have, like, zero idea where Gorkamorka is. The last we know, he was...
Yeah.
He split into two.
Yeah, he just kind of got the shits and walked off.
Yeah. So he's a really interesting sort of aspect to like bring the story, and with all destruction factions, how does this destruction faction bring into worshipping Gorkamorka? Because all of them worship Gorkamorka in some facet, or is this going to be the first one that doesn't? And in fact, like they do worship Bahamut, or
I mean, if they're the sons of Bahamut, I mean. It depends, though. Do they worship Bahamut as a god, or is he just a hero? Like
is he just the father?
Yeah, like how do they see
I mean,
him?
getting all biblical, the father and the son. Is he just the son and the father is
Yeah,
Gorkamorka?
yeah. Is he worshipped as like a prophet of Gorkamorka almost or
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
Um,
I mean that would make sense given the way narrative's developed thus far.
yeah. I mean, Gorkamorka did
To
go
see that.
kick the butt of a bunch of god beasts, so
Mm. Yeah, because they were in his way.
Sigmar sort of saved Gorkamorka, as we all know, and from like a giant glacier, and then Gorkamorka's like, well, I need to do something to repay you, and he's like, well, you can go fight all these giant beasties, and
Yeah, let's go and punch this god and the god beast in the face. Oh, okay.
why not?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but I don't know whether I would have thought we would have seen some more about that in the Orc War Clans, but we didn't.
yeah,
So.
the only real narrative sort of push we got in that is we got Godrak's endgame, which is he wants to punch Sigmar in the face.
Yes. As you do.
And there's someone saying in the comment, they're like, they think the realm of life makes sense for Gargants because they're really not all that bestial at their core. They're just giant humanoids. We're better to support massive life forms than the realm of life, and like, yeah. But I guess like the overhyped, like oversized thing is completely what Realm of Beast is all about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the city on the back of a giant worm.
Yeah.
Sort of stuff.
Or the coastline around Excelsis that literally eats the islands in the bay.
Yeah. Yeah, as I was saying before about how Sigma really is its own style.
Yeah, where a continent eats the islands.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we've sort of talked this subject into the ground for tonight, and we've had a bit of technical issues, so we're running a bit behind, unfortunately. But anyway, I thank everyone for joining us tonight. If you've got any sort of questions or anything, leave them in the comments below, and we'll try and answer them after the show. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and a thank you to everyone on Patreon who supports the channel via Patreon. We're now on that march towards the magical 1000. And I've got some really cool things to give away for that. I've got some gift baskets planned from a bunch of stuff. So they'll have a bunch of different goodies in the gift baskets for once we hit that 1000. We'll have them in a giveaway. I mean, and we've got the brand new logo set up and everything, which is cool. But anyway, I think that's enough for tonight. I've got some sorting out of stuff to do after this. That's the least to say.
Looks like it, yeah.
But yeah, thank you all for joining us. You can find me at DanHammerNeo on Twitter or the Sinful Gaming page on Facebook. And Andrew?
Real Go Trek on Twitter and the 1 hour a night miniature hobby challenge on Facebook.
No worries. We will catch you all again hopefully in a couple of weeks. We'll see how it goes. Andrew being a teacher in this current time, we don't know how it's going to go.
We'll see how we go.
Can't promise anything. Like it is what it is at this point in time with that, but we will try our best, even if we have to pre-record and on a weekend or something.
Yeah, we'll see what we can get through.
We'll figure something out and we'll keep everyone informed. But anyway, thank you to everyone for putting up with tonight. It's been great. And I'll see you all again real soon. Ciao for now.
See ya.